Hi Stuhr kids, this is Karen at Stuhr Museum and I'm here to read you a story today. It's called Just Right for Christmas. It's written by Birdie Black and illustrated by Rosalind Beardshaw.
It was Christmas Eve and snow was falling as the king strolled around the market. What should he see but a huge roll of beautiful bright red cloth? "Ooh," he said, "that cloth is so red and soft and Christmassy. It would be just right for a grand cloak for the princess." And so he bought it and took it back to his castle. In the castle, the king's sewing maid snipped and sewed and snipped and sewed, and by lunchtime, they had made a beautiful long cloak for the princess. The king was delighted. He wrapped it up in golden paper and silver ribbon. "What shall we do with the scraps?" one of the sewing maids asked. "Oh, just bundle them up and put them outside the back door," said the king. Jenny, the castle kitchen's maid, had finished work for the day. What should she see on her way home but a big bundle of beautiful bright red scraps? "Ooh," she said, "that cloth is so red and soft and Christmassy. It would be just right to make a jacket for my ma." When Jenny got home, she snipped and sewed and snipped and sewed, and by dinner time, she'd made a pretty red jacket for her ma. She was very happy, and she wrapped it up in red paper with a green ribbon. Then she bundled up the little scraps and put them outside the back door so her ma wouldn't see them. Birdie Badger trotted past Jenny's house. What should he see but a little bundle of beautiful bright red scraps? "Ooh," he said, "that cloth is so red and soft and Christmassy. It would be just right to make a hat for my paw." When Birdie got home, he snipped and sewed and snipped and sewed, and by the time the clock was striking 6, he'd made a nice red hat for his paw. He smiled as he wrapped it up in some brown paper and tied it with string. Then he bundled up the tiny scraps and put them outside the back door. Samuel Squirrel bounded past Birdie's house. Suddenly he stopped. What should he see but a tiny bundle of beautiful bright red scraps? "Ooh," he said, "that cloth is so red and soft and Christmassy. It would be just right to make a pair of gloves for my wife." When Samuel got home, he snipped and sewed and snipped and sewed, and by the time the moon was rising, he'd made a beautiful pair of gloves for his wife. He wrapped them in a leaf and tied up the parcel with a piece of dried grass. "It's just as well I've made her something to keep her hands warm," he said. "This winter wind is so chilly." A gust picked up the tiny scrap of red cloth that was left over and blew it out his window, where it fluttered to the snowy ground. It was nearly midnight when Millie Mouse plodded past Samuel's house. She was tired and cold, and the snow was falling on her ears and whiskers. She had been looking for a nut to give to little Billy for Christmas, but she couldn't find one. As she passed the bottom of Samuel's tree, she saw something red sticking out of the snow. What could it be? It was the tiny scrap of cloth. "Ooh," she said, "that cloth is so soft and red and Christmassy. It would be just right to make a scarf for my Billy." Billy was asleep when Millie got home. She snipped and sewed and snipped and sewed, and by the time the candle had burned low, she'd made a cozy scarf for Billy. She didn't have anything to wrap it in, but she folded it carefully and put it under her tiny sprig of a Christmas tree. On Christmas morning, the princess opened her huge gold present, and Jenny's ma opened her big red present, and Birdie's pa opened his small brown present, and Samuel's wife unwrapped her leaf, and Millie gave little Billy his scarf. Each present was so soft and red and Christmassy, and it felt just right. Just how Christmas should feel.
The end. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a Merry Christmas!